It has been 29 minutes, my child, and the fact that you are still here is not random. You were not brought to this moment by accident, and you must not treat these next words lightly. I need you to listen with your whole heart, because what feels like silence is not empty, and what looks delayed may already be moving beneath the surface. Stay with me to the very end. Do not rush this. Do not scroll past what heaven may be using to reach you right now. Let these words settle before you decide what this moment means. If you leave too soon, you may walk away just before the answer breaks through. But if you stay, if you truly stay, you may realize these 29 minutes were never a delay at all. They were the doorway. My child, I want you to slow your heart for a moment and stay with me here, because what you are feeling right now is not random, and it is not small. It has been 29 minutes, and to you that may feel like proof that nothing is happening, proof that what you hoped for is not coming, proof that maybe you misunderstood what I placed in your spirit. But I need you to hear me with tenderness and clarity. The passing of those minutes has not changed my hand over your life. You have been watching the silence, and I have been working inside it. You have been measuring what you can see, while I have been moving in places your eyes were never meant to control. I know how quickly your thoughts can turn when time stretches longer than you expected. I know how easily your peace begins to slip when the moment you thought would bring relief keeps passing without visible change. You begin to wonder if I still hear you. You begin to wonder if I still care. You begin to ask yourself whether I brought you this far only to leave you in uncertainty. But I would never bring you to a moment like this just to abandon you in it. I am not absent because the answer has not appeared yet. I am not distant because the sign has not become obvious yet. I am with you in this very delay, closer than your anxious thoughts, closer than the pressure in your chest, closer than the disappointment that keeps trying to rise. What you call delay is often the place where I am doing some of my most careful work for you. There are moments when I let time stretch because I need your heart to stop leaning on immediate proof and begin resting in my presence again. Not because I want to make this hard for you, and not because I enjoy watching you wrestle with uncertainty, but because I care too much about you to let your peace depend only on what changes around you. I want you to understand that even now, while you are still waiting, something sacred is happening. You are standing in a moment where your faith is being invited to breathe differently. Not louder, not more dramatically, just more deeply. This is the place where you learn that I am still good before the answer arrives. This is the place where you begin to realize that my silence is not rejection, and my timing is not cruelty. You may not see what I am doing yet, but that does not mean I have been still. I have already been ahead of you in this moment. I have already touched things connected to your future. I have already prevented what would have wounded you. I have already begun arranging what you cannot yet recognize. So before you let these 29 minutes become a story of disappointment, let me rewrite what they really mean. They are not evidence that I forgot you. They are not proof that your hope was misplaced. They are simply the threshold where I am asking you to remain with me a little longer, because what you have not seen yet is not the same as what I have not started. I am here, my child. I am still moving, and I have not lost sight of you for even 1 second. My child, I know how quickly waiting can become something deeper than delay. At first, it feels like a moment. Then it begins to feel like a message. Then, before you even realize it, you start treating the silence as if it says something about you. You begin to wonder whether I have pulled away, whether I have changed my mind, whether your prayers somehow lost their way before they ever reached me. I want you to stop right there and let me speak into that wound, because the pain you are feeling is real, but the conclusion you are drawing from it is not. Come closer now. Let your heart settle. Listen to me carefully. The weight feels personal because it touches places in you that were already tender long before this moment. It stirs old disappointments. It wakes up memories of being overlooked, forgotten, delayed, or passed by. That is why this hurts more than you expected. You are not just reacting to time. You are reacting to every older ache that time has uncovered. But I need you to let me separate those things. Do not merge your past wounds with my present silence. Do not let old sorrow interpret what I am doing now. I am not the one who abandoned you before. I am not the one who made promises and failed to keep them. I am not the one who let you carry pain without compassion. I have been with you in every hidden hallway of your life, even the ones where you thought nobody came looking for you. So release that burden from your chest. Stop accusing yourself. Stop assuming that delay means distance. Look at me instead. Breathe. Say here. What you are feeling is understandable, but you must not let it become your truth. Sometimes I allow a pause because I'm preparing something with care, and care takes time. Sometimes I slow the moment because if I handed you what you wanted in the condition you were in, you would hold it with fear instead of peace. I am not punishing you with waiting. I am protecting you with timing. I am watching the details. I am reading what you cannot read. I am closing what would have trapped you and opening what can actually carry your future. So do not rush ahead in your mind. Do not let your heart turn cold because the answer did not arrive when you expected. Invite me into that ache instead. Let me touch the place where you feel forgotten. Let me calm the place where your thoughts are spiraling. Say to yourself, He is still here, even now. Because I am. I have not stepped away from you. I have not lost interest in your tears. I have not gone silent because I stopped loving you. The weight feels personal because your heart is involved, and I honor that. But hear me now. My delay is not rejection. My pause is not punishment. My timing is still mercy, even when you do not yet understand it. My child, there is a very specific kind of moment that can quietly change everything, and it often comes right before the breakthrough you have been praying for. It is not always dramatic. It does not always look like a major collapse. Sometimes it is simply the instant when your heart begins to loosen its grip on hope because you are tired of expecting. That is the moment I want to speak to right now, because you have been standing closer to that edge than you realize. You have been trying to stay strong, trying to stay open, trying to believe that what I showed you still matters. But beneath the surface there is a quiet temptation rising inside you to stop looking, stop caring, stop leaning in, just so the disappointment will hurt less. I understand why you feel that. I have seen how long you have carried this. I have watched you reach for reassurance and find only silence. I have heard the conversations you have had with yourself when nobody else was there. But listen to me now and take this seriously. Do not walk away too soon. Do not step back from the very place where I have been preparing to meet you. Stay with me. Hold your ground. Let your soul remain open a little longer. The enemy loves this fragile window because he knows he does not need to destroy your faith if he can simply exhaust it. He knows he does not need to convince you that I am not real if he can persuade you to stop expecting me to move. That is why this moment matters so much. The danger is not always rebellion. Sometimes it is resignation. Sometimes it is the quiet surrender to disappointment that says, maybe nothing is coming after all. But I am telling you now, do not make a final decision in the middle of an unfinished moment. What you call empty may be the final stretch before something shifts. What feels like a dead end may simply be the last bend before the road opens. So I want you to do something with me right now. Stay. Resist the urge to emotionally shut down. Refuse the lie that says you were foolish for hoping. Lift your eyes off the clock and place them back on me. Invite me into the part of you that wants to protect itself by going numb. I am not asking you to force emotion. I am asking you to remain available. Keep your heart unlocked. Keep your spirit listening. Keep your trust from hardening into self-defense. You are not weak because you feel tired. You are not failing because you feel stretched. But you must not abandon the place of trust one breath before the answer arrives. I have brought you too far for you to leave now. Stay close. Stay open. Stay with me. My child, I want you to look at this moment differently, because the way you are reading it right now is draining your strength. You have looked at the silence, looked at the unchanged circumstances, looked at the empty space where you expected movement, and you have quietly told yourself that nothing is happening. But I need you to release that thought before it settles too deeply in your heart, because what you are calling nothing is not empty at all. It only looks still because you are standing on the surface while I am working underneath it. You are watching the visible layer. I am chipping the deeper one. And I want you to stop letting appearances make the final decision about what is real. Come closer. Stay with me here. Let me teach your heart how to see beyond what your eyes can confirm. There are things moving for you right now that have not yet reached the part of your life where you can touch them. There are conversations shifting, alignments changing, closed paths being cleared, and harmful doors being held shut because I love you too much to let the wrong thing rush in just because you are tired of waiting. You may think the room is silent, but silence is not the same as stillness. You may think the sky is closed, but hidden does not mean absent. There are seasons when the seed does not announce itself while it is taking root. There are moments when the most sacred work is the work nobody sees. If you only trust what is obvious, you will miss the miracle while it is still forming. So I need you to stop staring at the emptiness as if it is your enemy. Stop letting the unchanged surface preach to your spirit. Lift your eyes. Breathe. Listen to me. I am in the unseen. I am in the slow unfolding. I am in the details you do not know how to track. I have already gone ahead of you into places you have not reached yet. I have already touched what concerns you. I have already interrupted what would have hurt you. I have already begun rearranging things that seem fixed. Do not call it nothing just because it has not introduced itself yet. Trust me enough to believe that a hidden movement is still movement. Let your heart soften again. Invite peace back in. Tell yourself, just because I cannot see it yet does not mean God has stopped. Because I have not stopped, I am not paused. I am not uncertain. I am not forgetting you while you wait. I am working with wisdom, and wisdom does not always move in ways that satisfy your urgency. So do not turn this moment into a funeral for your hope. Let it become a lesson in deeper trust. Stay available. Stay open. And let me remind you that what feels invisible to you may already be taking shape under my hand. My child, as you begin to understand that what you called nothing is filled with my hidden movement, I now invite you to become part of that movement for others. There are souls still standing in what feels like silence, waiting for a word like this to reach them, and I am choosing vessels to carry that light. When you give, you are sowing into unseen soil, and I have declared, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and I speak that over you now. Your offering becomes oil that keeps this message burning, a river that carries hope into dry places, a seed that multiplies beyond what your eyes can measure. Do not see your giving as small, for I breathe upon it and make it abundant. This is your moment to align with my work, to step into the unseen flow where I am already moving. If your heart hath been stirred, it is because I am calling you into action. Support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and do it now. My child, while you have been watching for the outward sign, I have also been doing something inside you that you must not overlook. I know your attention naturally goes to what you are waiting to receive. You want the answer, the opening, the confirmation, the visible shift that tells you the waiting is finally over. That longing is real, and I do not dismiss it. But if you only focus on what has not arrived yet, you may miss the quiet transformation happening within you, and that work matters more than you realize. I want you to pause and notice who you are becoming in this process. Not who you fear you are becoming, not the tired version of yourself that your emotions keep showing you, but the deeper person I have been forming beneath the strain. You are not just waiting. You are being shaped. You are not simply enduring time. You are being refined by it. There were reactions that used to control you more easily, and I have been softening them. There were fears that once rose quickly in you, and I have been loosening their grip. There were old wounds that made every delay feel like rejection, and I have been gently exposing them so I can heal what has been hidden too long. This is not wasted time. This is holy work, and I need you to honor it. Do not rush past what I am doing in your spirit just because it does not come with fireworks. Some of the most powerful miracles in your life will not begin around you. They will begin within you. The peace you have been asking for is not only something I send into your circumstances. It is something I grow inside your inner world. The stability you need is not only about doors opening. It is about your heart no longer collapsing every time a door stays shut for longer than expected. So come with me into this deeper place. Let me show you the beauty of what is changing in you. Let me steady the parts of you that have lived too long in reaction. Let me mature your trust without hardening your tenderness. Surrender the version of strength that only knows how to push harder. Receive the kind of strength that knows how to remain soft while still standing firm. I am not only preparing blessings for your hands. I am preparing your heart to carry them well. If I gave you certain things before healing these inner fractures, you would hold them with anxiety instead of gratitude. You would protect them with fear instead of stewarding them with peace. So do not despise this inward work. Welcome it. Invite it. Say yes to the deeper forming. I am not delaying your life while I work on you. I am preserving your future by doing both at once. My child, I need you to let this truth settle deeper than your fear, because you have been carrying a painful suspicion that keeps returning whenever the silence lasts longer than you expected. Somewhere inside you, there is a thought that keeps whispering, if I still have not seen it, maybe I was overlooked. Maybe I was skipped. Maybe I asked. But heaven moved on without me. I want you to stop and bring that thought into the light right now, because it is not the truth, and it have been stealing peace from you for too long. Come close. Stay here with me. Do not rush past this part. You were never ignored. Not for a second. Not in the first minute. Not in the 29th. Not in any hidden hour when your heart was quietly breaking and nobody else could tell. I have seen every flicker of hope inside you. I have heard every prayer, including the ones you barely had the strength to form. I have noticed the look on your face when disappointment tried to settle in. I have been with you in the private places where you smile for others and then go silent when you are alone. So do not let delay convince you that I have become distant. Do not let waiting rewrite the story of my love. I know exactly where you are, and I know exactly what this moment is touching inside you. I know how old pain can rise when something takes longer than expected. I know how quickly your mind starts connecting today's silence with yesterday's wounds. But listen to me carefully now and receive this as medicine for your spirit. I have never handled you carelessly. I have never forgotten your name. I have never misplaced your tears. I do not lose sight of my children in the middle of their waiting. Even when I seem quiet, I am still attentive. Even when you feel overlooked, I am still involved. You are not a number to me. You are not a passing request. You are not a face in a crowd. You are mine, and I know the details of your life with a tenderness no human mind can fully understand. So release that false burden. Stop assuming that silence means neglect. Stop letting your weary thoughts speak louder than my heart. Turn toward me again. Invite me into the place where you feel forgotten. Let me steady you there. Let me remind you that being unseen by people is not the same as being unseen by me. The world may have overlooked you. Others may have failed to notice your pain. But I have never been careless with your soul. I have watched over you in ways you still do not know. I have protected you in moments you never recognized. I have carried concerns for you before you even knew how to pray them. So rest here now. Let this settle. You have not been ignored. You have been held, watched, guarded, and deeply loved the entire time. My child, I want you to notice what happens to your heart when you keep staring at the clock, because the longer you measure the delay, the heavier your spirit becomes. You begin by checking the time, but soon the time begins checking you. It starts pressing on your thoughts, tightening your chest, stealing your focus, and pulling your peace apart piece by piece. You look again, and something inside you sinks. You wait a little longer, and your hope begins to feel fragile. Then you look once more, and now you are not just watching the clock. You are wrestling with yourself. I see that. I know how exhausting that inner tension could become. It is not only the delay that wears you down. It is the constant monitoring, the restless searching, the emotional refreshing of the same fear over and over again. That is why I am speaking to you now with love, but also with firmness. Stop staring at the clock as if it holds your future. Release your grip. Step back from that pressure. Breathe. Let your shoulders soften. Let your spirit unclench. Time is a tool in my hand, not a threat over your life. The clock may tell you what has passed, but it cannot tell you what I am about to do. It can measure minutes, but it cannot measure mercy. It can count delay, but it cannot calculate divine timing. So do not give it authority it does not have. I need you to come away from that mental treadmill. Stop feeding your anxiety by checking the same empty place with a fearful heart. Stop searching for reassurance in a pattern that only deepens your panic. Come sit with me instead. Let me quiet what has become noisy inside you. Invite me into that restless place where your thoughts keep racing ahead of your faith. You do not need to carry this moment by force. You do not need to prove your trust by exhausting yourself. There is a difference between expectancy and strain, and I want to teach you how to wait without wounding yourself. Real peace does not come from finally seeing the answer 1 second sooner. Real peace begins when you trust me enough to stop interrogating the silence. I am not asking you to stop caring. I'm asking you to stop caring what belongs in my hands. Put down the pressure. Put down the panic. Put down the false belief that if you watch closely enough, you can somehow control the outcome. You cannot force the flower open by staring at the bud. Let me do what only I can do. Let time move without becoming your torment. Stay close to me, not close to the countdown. I am still here, and I am not late. My child, there is a reason I have allowed you to arrive at this exact point instead of stepping in the moment you first started feeling uncomfortable. I know you would have preferred a quicker answer. I know you would have welcomed relief much earlier. I know part of you wishes I had interrupted the ache before it had time to deepen. But I need you to understand something with a calm heart. This moment is not meaningless, and it is not wasted. The 29th minute carries weight because it is the place where your certainty begins to run out and something deeper is invited to rise. This is where your faith stops leaning on immediate proof and starts learning how to breathe in my presence. Do not be afraid of that. Stay with me here. Let me show you what this moment really is. You think you are standing in delay, but you are standing in development. You think you are trapped in a pause, but you are being brought to a place where trust becomes more than a feeling. Anyone can feel safe when the answer comes quickly. Anyone can remain calm when the sign appears right on time. But when the visible evidence is missing, and you still choose to keep your heart open, something holy is formed in you that cannot be created any other way. That is why I let you come this far. Not to break you, but to deepen you. Not to frustrate you, but to free you from the kind of faith that depends too heavily on speed. I am teaching you to stay near me even when the outcome is still hidden. I am showing you that I can be trusted before the breakthrough becomes visible. So do not rush to label this moment as failure. Do not decide too quickly that you have been left waiting for no reason. Sit with me in this exact place. Invite me into the tension instead of trying to outrun it. Tell me honestly what you feel. Let your soul become quiet enough to hear what this moment is actually saying. It is not saying, I have left you. It is saying, come deeper. It is not saying, you missed it. It is saying, stay long enough to become ready for it. The 29th minute is not just a number. It is a threshold. It is the edge where shallow trust begins to give way to something steadier, something stronger, something less dependent on immediate relief. So remain here with me. Let me finish what I am doing in this exact stretch of time. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are standing in a sacred space where your heart is learning how to trust me with less noise and more depth. That is not loss, my child. That is growth wrapped in mystery. And I am right here in the middle of it with you. My child, you have reached this deeper place where trust is being formed. And now I show you how to let that trust become action. There are others standing at this same threshold, unsure, weary, searching, and I desire to meet them through what you release today. I have said, give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and this promise is alive in this very moment. When you give, you are planting seeds in a field you may never see, yet I will cause the harvest to rise in ways that will return to you with favor. This is not just support. It is participation in my unfolding work, a partnership with my voice reaching hearts across the earth. Do not hesitate at the edge of this moment, for this is where faith becomes movement. I am calling you to respond with open hands and a willing spirit. Step forward now, support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and obey without delay. My child, one of the reasons your heart is becoming so restless is because you have already decided what the answer is supposed to look like, and now you are scanning the horizon for only that one thing. You expected a certain door, a certain message, a certain sign, a certain feeling, a certain kind of relief. You created a picture in your mind, and because that exact picture has not appeared, you have quietly concluded that nothing has happened. But I want you to loosen your grip on that expectation, because your insistence on one form may be keeping you from seeing the grace that is already unfolding. Come closer and let me gently correct your vision. I do not always move in the shape you imagine. I do not always answer in the language your fear finds easiest to understand. Sometimes I answer by redirecting you instead of rewarding your urgency. Sometimes I protect you by closing what you begged me to open. Sometimes I begin with an inner shift before an outer one. Sometimes I send peace before I send proof, because if your heart cannot receive peace first, you may mishandle the very thing you asked me for. So stop demanding that my answer arrive wearing the clothes you picked out for it. Release that pressure. Open your eyes wider. Invite me to show you what you have been missing. The answer may already be moving in a form you did not expect. A delayed message may be mercy. That closed door may be a shield. The discomfort may be my hand turning you away from something that would have looked good at first and wounded you later. The miracle is not always loud. It is not always dramatic. It is not always obvious in the first moment it arrives. Sometimes it begins like a whisper instead of thunder. Sometimes it comes through restraint instead of release. Sometimes it looks less like a spotlight and more like a subtle shift that your spirit recognizes before your mind does. That is why I need you to stop demanding certainty from appearances alone. Ask me to teach you how to recognize my hand even when it moves quietly. Ask me to help you notice what your disappointment hath been filtering out. Stay open. Stay humble. Stay willing to be surprised by goodness that does not look exactly like your plan. I am not trying to confuse you, my child. I am trying to save you from mistaking your preference for my promise. Let me lead you beyond the narrow frame you built in your mind. The answer is still coming, but it may not enter through the door you were watching. So stop staring only at one window. Lift your eyes. Let me show you the wider horizon. My child, I want you to stop hiding from your own discouragement, as if admitting it would disappoint me. Bring it to me. Let me see it in the open. Let me sit with you in the part of your heart that feels worn down, because I already know it is there. I know how this kind of waiting reaches into older wounds. I know how disappointment can quietly reopen places you thought had already healed. You begin by waiting for one answer, but after enough silence, you start feeling the weight of every other time life left you uncertain. That is why this moment feels heavier than it should. It is not just about what has not happened yet. It is about what the delay is stirring inside you. Come closer now. Do not armor up. Do not pretend you are stronger than you feel. Be honest with me. Tell me where your heart has become tired. Tell me where your hope has started limping. Tell me where your spirit feels thin, stretched, and quietly afraid. I am not offended by your weariness. I am moved by it. I am not stepping back because your faith feels fragile. I am stepping nearer because you need tenderness, not pressure. But listen to me with great care, because this matters. Your discouragement is real, yet it is not the final word over your life. It may be present, but it is not permanent. It may be loud today, but it does not have authority over what I have already begun. Do not mistake your current emotional weather for your future. Clouds can cover the sky without canceling the sun. A heavy heart can exist in the same life where I am still preparing something beautiful. So do not surrender your expectation just because your feelings have become tired. Sit with me instead. Let me hold the part of you that wants to give up. Let me breathe peace into the place where your thoughts keep spiraling. Stop trying to fix your discouragement with force. Stop punishing yourself for feeling low. Rest. Receive. Let my presence be enough for this moment. You do not need to become instantly strong again for me to keep moving on your behalf. I am not waiting for your emotions to stabilize before I remain faithful. I'm already faithful. Even now. Especially now. The thread you think is barely holding is still in my hands, and I do not drop what I hold. So lift your eyes, even if only a little. Whisper if you cannot sing. Stay near if you cannot run. Let me be the strength you do not currently have. Your discouragement may have entered the room, but it does not get to write the ending. I am still here, and I am still leading you forward. My child, I need you to become more careful with the assumptions you make in silence, because the enemy does some of his quietest work there. He rarely needs to shout when you are already tired. He does not always come with obvious fear. Sometimes he slips in through interpretation. He waits for the unanswered moment, the delayed sign, the tired heart, and then he offers you a story about what it all means. He wants you to assume I am late. He wants you to assume you misheard me. He wants you to assume your waiting is proof that you were foolish to hope. He wants you to fill the silence with suspicion before my timing has a chance to reveal itself. That is why I am speaking to you now with tenderness, but also with authority. Do not let the enemy interpret this moment for you. Refuse it. Challenge it. Bring every conclusion back to me before you let it settle in your spirit. Just because the thought arrives does not mean it speaks truth. Just because fear sounds convincing does not mean it has insight. Come here and listen carefully. The enemy would love for you to confuse delay with denial, because if he can get you to believe that lie, he can wear down your expectancy without ever touching the promise itself. He knows he does not need to steal what I prepared if he can persuade you to walk away before it arrives. He knows he does not need to destroy your faith if he can simply drain it until you stop leaning in. So watch your assumptions. Guard your inner language. Pay attention to the story you are telling yourself in the waiting. Are you saying, "Nothing is happening," when I am still working? Are you saying, "I must have missed it," when I am still leading? Are you saying, "Maybe I am forgotten," when I have been watching over you with extraordinary care? Do not let those lies build a home in your mind. Shut the door on them. Invite me in instead. Ask me to correct your interpretation before fear makes itself comfortable. Let my voice become louder than the whisper of the enemy. I want you to learn something powerful here. Unfinished moments should never be used to form final conclusions. You are still in the middle, not at the end. The story is still moving. The answer is still forming. The outcome is not yet visible. So do not crown the lie before the truth has entered the room. Stay alert. Stay soft. Stay anchored in what you know about my heart, not in what fear keeps suggesting about my silence. I have not failed you, and I have not misled you. The enemy wants you to assume the worst because he is afraid of what happens when you remain steady. So remain steady, my child. Let me interpret the silence. My child, I need you to hear this part with a softer heart, because if you misunderstand my timing, you will begin to imagine motives in me that do not belong there. When the answer takes longer than you expected, it can start to feel like I am stretching the moment just to intensify your emotions, as if I am watching you struggle from a distance while doing nothing to ease the ache. But I want you to let that thought go right now, because it is not who I am. I am not building suspense around your pain. I am not creating drama in your life to make the story more intense. I am not delaying because I enjoy watching you wrestle. I am building safety. I am preparing space. I am arranging what must be in place so that what reaches you will not wound you, weaken you, or collapse under the wrong conditions. Come close and let me explain this to your heart. There are things you have asked for that are beautiful, but beauty without timing can become burden. There are doors you wanted opened that would have looked like answers in the first moment and become chains later. There are people you wanted near you who could not stay without damaging what I am growing in you. There are opportunities that would have fed your urgency, but starve your peace. That is why I move with care. That is why I sometimes say not yet before I say now. I need you to stop interpreting caution as cruelty. I need you to stop calling wise delay a form of abandonment. Sit with me here and look again. If I am slowing the moment, it is because I am reading details you cannot see. If I am holding something back, it is because I know what is attached to it. If I am asking you to wait a little longer, it is because I am removing what would have made the blessing unstable. Let me do that. Do not fight me here. Do not rush toward what I am still cleansing. Invite me into your impatience. Hand me your urgency. Tell me where you are afraid that the wait means loss, and let me show you that sometimes the slow road is the safest road. I am not keeping good from you. I am keeping harm from you. I am not closing my hand because I forgot your desire. I am guarding what will eventually rest in your hand with peace instead of panic. So trust my restraint. Welcome my wisdom. Let me build the strong foundation before I let the full weight of the answer arrive. What I give you, I want to last. What I bring into your life, I want to bless you deeply, not briefly. That is why I am careful. That is why I am still here. And that is why this delay is not empty. It is covered in protection. My child, as I have shown you that I am building safety and not suspense, understand that even your giving is something I guide with purpose and protection. What you release into my hands is never wasted. It becomes a covering, a provision, a flame that reaches places you cannot go. I have spoken. Honor me with your substance, and your barns will be filled, and I am watching over that word even now. When you give, you are helping prepare safe ground for others to encounter my truth without confusion or fear. Your seed becomes a shield. Your offering becomes light. Your obedience becomes a doorway for another soul's breakthrough. This is not a random moment. It is a divine alignment where your heart and my mission meet. Do not hold back what I am asking you to release. Support this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and step into this sacred exchange now. My child, there is a kind of faith you can only discover in moments like this, and it does not arrive with noise or outward drama. It grows in quieter places, in the stretch between what you hope to see and what you still cannot see yet. That is where mature faith is born. Not the kind that sounds impressive when everything is going well, and not the kind that only feels strong when answers arrive quickly, but the kind that remains tender, grounded, and steady even when the outcome is still hidden. I want you to understand this, because what is happening in you right now is more precious than you realize. You may feel as if you are simply trying to survive the wait, but I see something deeper taking shape. I see your trust being refined. I see your inner world being strengthened in ways that will carry you far beyond this one moment. Come sit with me here. Stop trying to prove your faith by sounding strong. Stop pressuring yourself to feel victorious every second. Mature faith is not pretending you never feel the ache. It is choosing not to let the ache become your master. It is being honest about your weakness while still placing your heart in my hands. It is saying, even in a trembling voice, I still trust you, though I do not understand this yet. That kind of trust moves heaven in a way shallow certainty never can. It is not loud, but it is weighty. It is not flashy, but it is rooted. It does not need to force itself into confidence, because it has learned to rest in who I am instead of constantly demanding visible proof. That is what I am teaching you now. I am loosening your dependence on quick reassurance. I am freeing you from the exhausting cycle of needing constant evidence before you can feel safe. I am inviting you into a deeper kind of peace, one that can breathe in the dark without assuming the dark is forever. To let this moment shape you. Do not resent the process. Welcome the deeper work. Invite me into the places where your faith still panics when timing shifts. Let me steady those places. Let me teach your spirit how to stay soft while your circumstances remain unfinished. You do not need to become harder to survive this. You need to become more rooted in me. That is the difference. A storm-tested faith does not come from endless comfort. It comes from learning that I remain trustworthy even when the answer is not immediate. So stay with me, my child. Let this stretch of waiting become sacred instead of bitter. Mature faith is not being built against you. It is being born within you, and one day you will thank me for how deeply it changed the way you walk with me. My child, I want you to quiet the part of your mind that keeps telling you the answer must still be far away, because that thought has been making the wait feel heavier than it truly is. You have been assuming there is still a long road ahead, that there are still endless steps before anything changes, that what you are hoping for is somewhere in the distance where you cannot reach it. But I need you to loosen your grip on that assumption and let me speak into it, because sometimes the answer is much closer than your emotions are willing to believe. Sometimes the shift has already begun, and you simply have not seen the surface evidence yet. Sometimes what you are waiting for is already moving towards you while your heart is still bracing for a much longer delay. Come closer now. Breathe with me. Let your spirit rest for a moment. Do not let weariness become prophecy over your future. Just because it has felt long does not mean it still is. Just because the path has been difficult does not mean the breakthrough is still far from your door. I have moved in your life many times in the final moments, not to confuse you, but to prepare you. I know exactly when your heart is ready to receive without clinging too tightly. I know when your spirit can finally hold the answer with gratitude instead of desperation. I know when what I place in your hands will draw you closer to me instead of becoming something you fear losing every second. That is why I need you to stop telling yourself, it is probably still far away. You do not know that. You are measuring with limited sight. I am moving with complete vision. The room may look unchanged, but that does not mean the arrival is distant. The dawn does not always announce itself while the sky is still dark, yet it is already on its way. So lift your head. Stay alert, but do not become tense. Stay expectant, but do not become frantic. Invite me into the place where you have quietly resigned yourself to someday, and let me remind you that some breakthroughs do not arrive with a long warning. Some of them enter softly after a season of strain and surprise you with how near they truly were. Let your heart become available again. Do not brace against joy as if it would hurt less to stay disappointed. Do not protect yourself from hope by pretending nothing good could be close. That self-protection may feel wise, but it can make your spirit numb. Instead, stay open. Stay tender. Stay ready. I am not asking you to force excitement. I am asking you to remain receptive. What you think is distant may already be at the threshold. What feels delayed may already be unfolding under my hand. So do not step away now. The answer may be closer than your tired heart can tell. My child, I need you to listen to me with special care here, because the way you have been searching is beginning to wound you. I know you want reassurance. I know you are looking for the sign, the shift, the confirmation that tells you everything is finally changing. I know your heart keeps leaning forward, hoping the next glance will bring relief. But somewhere along the way, your expectancy has started turning into panic, and panic cannot hear me clearly. Panic keeps you scanning, refreshing, checking, interpreting, bracing, and exhausting yourself in the process. That is not how I want you to wait. That is not the atmosphere where peace grows. So stop for a moment. Put it down. Step back from the frantic searching. Release the pressure. Let your breath deepen. Let your shoulders drop. Let your soul unclench. You do not need to chase what I am already arranging. You do not need to prove your faith by staying emotionally overextended. There is a difference between watching with trust and searching with fear, and I want to teach you the difference now. When fear leads the search, every silence becomes a threat. Every delay becomes a warning. Every unchanged detail becomes fuel for anxiety. But when trust leads the waiting, you can remain open without becoming consumed. You can stay expectant without becoming frantic. You can look without losing your peace. That is what I want for you. So come away from the edge of that inner storm. Stop refreshing your fear. Stop interrogating the silence as if enough pressure will force the answer to appear. You cannot pull tomorrow into today by worrying harder. You cannot make a flower bloom by gripping the stem. Let me be God in this moment. Let me carry what you keep trying to manage. Invite me into the restless place in your chest where your thoughts have been spinning in circles. Tell me honestly where you are afraid to stop checking because you think if you let go, you will miss it. But hear me clearly. What I have for you will not require panic to find you. What I am bringing into your life is not so fragile that it depends on your anxiety to arrive. If I open the door, I know how to lead you to it. If I am moving on your behalf, I know how to make it known in the right time. So rest, not because nothing matters, but because I am handling what matters most. Wait with me, not with fear. Stay available, not frantic. Keep your heart open, but keep your spirit anchored. I am not hiding from you, and I am not asking you to exhaust yourself to prove you care. I am asking you to trust me enough to become still again. My child, I want you to come closer and listen with a quieter heart, because one of the heaviest burdens you have been carrying in this season is the need to measure everything before you allow yourself to trust it. You keep counting minutes, checking signs, weighing progress, searching for visible proof that something is moving. I understand why you do that. You are trying to protect yourself from disappointment. You are trying to make sense of the silence. You are trying to feel safe in a moment that feels uncertain. But I need you to hear me now. There is far more happening than you can measure. The part of the story you can see is only the surface. The part you can count is only the outer edge. What I am doing for you reaches far beyond what your eyes can confirm, and far beyond what your mind can track. So stop trying to reduce my movement to what your current senses can verify. Sit with me instead. Let me widen your understanding. There are conversations taking place that you do not hear. Your hearts shifting that you do not see. There are assignments being rearranged, detours being prevented, wrong doors being held closed, right doors being prepared, consequences being interrupted, and dangers being removed from your path before you ever know they were near. I have protected you more times than you can count, and I have redirected your life in ways you still do not understand. If I showed you every detail I was managing for you in this very moment, your heart would be overwhelmed by how carefully I have been watching over you. That is why I need you to release the obsession with visible metrics. Not everything holy can be measured in real time. Not everything meaningful will announce itself while it is still unfolding. Some of the kindest things I do for you will only make sense later, when you can finally look back and see what I was shielding you from. So do not mistake limited visibility for limited activity. Do not confuse your inability to count the movement with an absence of movement. I am doing more than you know, and I am doing it with precision. Trust that. Invite peace into the places where you have been trying to calculate what only I can carry. Let me hold the complexity. Let me manage the unseen. Let me be the one who knows what must be delayed, what must be removed, what must be aligned, and what must be preserved. You do not need to understand every layer of what I am doing in order to remain safe in my hands. Rest in that. What feels slow to you may be filled with mercy you cannot yet name. What feels hidden may one day become one of the clearest signs of my love. So stop counting only what is missing, and start trusting that my hand is active far beyond what you can measure. My child, you now see that there is more happening than you can measure, and this includes the impact of what you are about to give. Every seed you release carries my breath, and it moves beyond numbers, beyond metrics, beyond what your mind can track. I have declared, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease, and I am faithful to fulfill it in your life. What you give becomes a river flowing into unseen places, wakening hearts, restoring hope, igniting faith where darkness once lingered. Do not limit this moment by what you can calculate, because I am working far beyond your understanding. This is a divine opportunity to join my unseen work with visible obedience. Let your trust become action, and your faith become movement. Give now through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and step into what I am doing beyond what you can see. My child, I need to speak to the deeper danger in this waiting, because the greatest threat is not always the delay itself. Sometimes the greater danger is the story you begin telling yourself because of it. You start out waiting for an answer, but after enough silence, you begin to let the silence define you. You begin to wonder if delays happen because you are somehow less chosen, less worthy, less remembered. You see others moving forward, others receiving, others stepping into things you hoped would come to you, and slowly a false narrative begins to grow inside you. You start believing that maybe you are always the one left behind. Maybe you are the one who gets overlooked. Maybe you are the one who must always wait longer because something about you is lacking. I want you to stop that thought right now and bring it into my presence, because it is a lie that will quietly poison your spirit if you let it stay. Come close. Stay here with me. Let me say this clearly so your heart can hear it without confusion. Timing is not your identity. Delay is not your name. Silence is not your value. A waiting season does not mean you are less loved, less chosen, or less seen. You are not being measured by the pace of your breakthrough. You are not being defined by the length of your process. You are not being judged by how quickly visible change appears around you. I need you to stop borrowing your self-worth from timelines. I need you to stop using temporary conditions to make permanent conclusions about who you are. That is not wisdom. That is woundedness speaking. And I want to heal it. Let me touch that place in you that still believes quick results mean deeper worth. Let me free you from comparing your path to someone else's season. Your life is not late because it does not look like theirs. Your story is not less sacred because it unfolded more slowly. I write differently for each of my children, and my care for you is not reduced simply because your chapter has taken longer to turn. So stand up inside your spirit. Reject the labels fear has tried to place on you. Refuse to let this delay become a mirror that reflects something false about your identity. Look at me instead. Let me tell you who you are while the waiting still continues. You are mine. You are known. You are wanted. You are being guided with extraordinary care. You are still under my hand even when the path feels unfinished. So do not let a passing delay become a permanent wound in the way you see yourself. Stay rooted in what I say about you. The timeline may still be moving, but your identity has never been uncertain in my eyes. My child, I want you to hold this truth close now, because it will steady you in a way your anxious thoughts never can. If I have not shown it to you yet, it is because I am still caring for it. I am not distant from it. I am not careless with it. I am not standing back while your answer drifts somewhere out of reach. I am with it. I am over it. I am inside every detail connected to it. So stop telling yourself that the delay means I have gone silent over your need. Stop imagining that because it has not appeared yet, it must be forgotten. Come here and listen carefully. If it concerns you, it concerns me. If it touches your future, I am already touching it first. if it has your tears attached to it. I have handled it with tenderness long before it ever reaches your hands. That is how closely I watch over what belongs to you. I need you to let that sink deeper than your fear. Right now, even in this unfinished moment, I am still shaping what must be shaped. I am still removing what should not remain. I am still guarding the edges. I am still deciding what must enter and what must be kept down. There are things I am cleaning that you cannot see. There are motives I am exposing, connections I am adjusting, outcomes I am redirecting, and timing I am protecting so that when it finally arrives, it carries peace instead of hidden poison. Let me do that. Do not rush me with your panic. Do not drag your heart into exhaustion trying to force what I am still preparing. Sit with me. Here. Put your hand over your heart and receive this. I do not abandon what I begin. I do not misplace what I promise. I do not lose interest in the things that matter deeply to you. If I have not shown it yet, it is not because I stopped caring. It is because I am still caring well. I am caring with wisdom. I am caring with precision. I am caring with the kind of love that looks beyond the first moment and all the way into the future. What I bring to you, I want to remain a blessing, not become a burden you were never meant to carry too soon. So trust my hands. Trust my pace. Trust the hidden mercy in my restraint. Invite me into the part of you that keeps asking, why not yet? And let me answer it with peace instead of explanation. You do not need every detail today. You only need to know that I am still involved, still attentive, still present, and still carefully watching over what is meant for you. That answer has not been neglected. It hath been nurtured, and I am still holding it with love. My child, I need you to hear this with all the tenderness in my heart, because this may be one of the most important things I say to you in this moment. Stay a little longer. Do not leave too soon. Do not close your heart too quickly. Do not step away from trust just because the visible sign has not arrived yet. There are moments in your life when the breakthrough does not require more effort, more striving, more noise, or more trying to force something open. Sometimes the holiest thing you can do is simply remain. Stay present. Stay soft. Stay with me. I know how strong the temptation is to emotionally withdraw when the waiting hurts. I know how quickly disappointment tries to teach you to protect yourself by going numb. You begin to tell yourself it is safer not to expect. It feels easier not to lean in. It seems wiser not to hope too much. But I want you to recognize what is really happening there. That is not peace. That is self-protection trying to disguise itself as wisdom. And if you let it take over, it can cause you to step away one breath before the answer enters the room. So stay. Not in panic. Not in performance. Just in presence. Stay near me. Stay open enough to receive. Stay quiet enough to hear. Stay available enough to notice what your fear would have missed. I am not asking you to manufacture emotion. I am asking you not to harden. There is a sacred difference. When your heart hardens, you stop recognizing movement even when it begins. When your spirit stays tender, you can sense the shift before your circumstances fully reveal it. That is why I am inviting you to remain here with me a little longer. Sit with me in the unfinished place. Let me hold your weariness. Let me steady your breathing. Let me calm the inner rush that keeps telling you to leave before disappointment can hurt you again. You do not have to run ahead of pain to stay safe. You are safe with me. You do not have to shut down your hope to survive. I can hold your hope without letting it crush you. So resist the urge to withdraw. Refuse the temptation to close the door on expectancy. Stay by the threshold. Stay prayerful. Stay tender. Stay willing. Some of the greatest losses in life do not come from open rebellion. They come from walking away quietly just before the answer arrives. I do not want that to be your story. I brought you this far for a reason. I have held you in this process for a reason. And I am asking you now, with love and with urgency, stay a little longer. What feels delayed may be closer than you know. My child, before this moment moves any further, I need you to let everything else go quiet and hear me plainly, because this is where I want your heart to rest. It have been 29 minutes, and you still have not seen what you expected to see. I know that. I know exactly how long it has felt. I know how many times you looked again, how many thoughts passed through your mind, how many small waves of disappointment tried to settle over your spirit. I was there for every second of it. I saw the way your hope tried to stay alive while your emotions grew tired. I saw the way your mind kept reaching for explanations. I saw the moment you almost decided that nothing was happening. And that is why I am speaking now with both tenderness and urgency. Do not make a final conclusion from an unfinished moment. Do not decide too early that silence means absence. Do not let passing minutes become permanent meaning. Come closer. Sit with me here. Breathe slowly. Let your heart come out of defense mode. What you have not seen is not the same as what I have not done. What has not become visible is not the same as what has not begun. I have seen every hidden shift. I have seen every unseen alignment. I have seen every small movement that your eyes could not recognize because it was still beneath the surface. I have already touched what concerns you. I have already guarded what could have harmed you. I have already begun arranging what will make sense later, even if it feels confusing now. So I need you to stop fighting the silence as if it is your enemy. Let me interpret this moment for you. This is not abandonment. This is not indifference. This is not a sign that you were foolish to hope. This is a threshold. This is a sacred edge where I am asking you to trust me one step deeper than your feelings can currently explain. Stay with me. Keep your spirit open. Let me settle the panic that keeps trying to speak louder than peace. Invite me into the ache instead of running from it. If you feel tired, bring me the tiredness. If you feel discouraged, bring me the discouragement. If you feel afraid to hope again, bring me that too. I am not asking you to be stronger than you are. I am asking you to stay close enough for me to carry what you cannot. To hear this and hold it tightly. I am still here. I am still moving. I am still caring for every detail tied to your life. And what feels delayed to you may already be closer than your weary heart can tell. Do not walk away now. Remain with me. Let peace return. The story is not over, my child. It is still unfolding under my hand. My child, you have heard my heart, and now I call you to respond before this moment passes you by. Do not make a final conclusion from an unfinished moment, and do not let this encounter end without action. There are others who need this very word, who are standing where you once stood, and I desire to reach them through what you release today. I have said, freely you have received, freely give, and this command is alive for you right now. Your giving becomes fire that spreads my voice, manna that feeds the hungry, light that breaks through someone else's darkness. This is not just generosity, it is obedience, alignment, and participation in my unfolding plan. I will bless what you place in my hands, multiplying it with favor, protection, and provision. Do not delay. Support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and act now. If this message found you in the very minute you were about to give up, do not stay silent now. Right, Lord, I stayed. and I know you are moving in the comments as your faith declaration. Let this be your marker, your moment, your line in the sand, because what feels delayed is not denied, and what you have not seen yet may already be at your door. I believe heaven is meeting you in this very pause, and your obedience to stay is about to become your testimony. Declare it boldly, my child. It's been 29 minutes, but I still believe. Because the truth is, my child, you almost kept scrolling. You almost convinced yourself that this was just another passing moment, another message that would fade away like all the others. But something inside you chose to stay. Something in your spirit knew that this pause was different, that these words were reaching into the very place where your exhaustion, fear, and unanswered prayers have been hiding. I have watched you carry silent battles that no one around you fully understands. I have seen the way your mind races when the room grows quiet, and the way your heart grows weary from holding everything together. And before this moment passes, I need you to understand something clearly. Your staying was not accidental. I drew you here because I wanted your attention, not to condemn you, but to remind you that I have never once stopped watching over you through every anxious minute you have endured. My beloved child, stop for just a moment. Pause right now. Breathe in my presence. Let the heavy air escape your lungs. I know exactly what you have been doing. It has been 29 minutes. For 29 minutes, you have been scrolling, searching, and wandering through the noise of this world. You have been carrying that tight knot in your stomach, worrying about the future, feeling the heavy pressure at your job, and carrying the silent tensions in your family that you think no one else notices. I notice. I see the invisible weight pulling your shoulders down. You feel overlooked by the people around you, but you are never overlooked by me. I have been watching you, waiting for this exact second. Your being here isn't a coincidence. I placed this message in front of you because I need your attention right now. You live in a world that never stops shouting. The world demands your time, your energy, and your peace. It screams at you with deadlines, bills, and the constant rush to be better, to do more, to run faster. But I do not shout. I speak in a still, small voice. Close your eyes. Do you hear it? My whisper in the silence, calling you forward. I am cutting through all that noise today to reach your heart. I picked you on purpose to do something really important. This specific moment in your spiritual journey is urgent. This is not just another day. This is a divine interruption. I am reaching down into your reality, right into the room where you are sitting, to offer you a lifeline. I know you feel delay. I know you look at your life and wonder why certain doors are still closed, why the answers you begged for have not arrived. You feel like you are falling behind. But my child, what you see as a delay is actually a divine appointment hiding in plain sight. I am setting the stage for you. I am preparing you to manage your blessings wisely. I am moving pieces in the background that you cannot see. Trust my timing. Do not let the waiting make you bitter. The delay is not a denial. It is my loving protection, keeping you safe until you are fully ready to hold the miracle I have prepared for you. There is a cost to turning away from me right now. If you choose to ignore my voice, if you rush back into the loud, demanding world, you will take that knot in your stomach with you. You will carry that heavy, suffocating anxiety back into your job and back into your home. I do not want that for you. I do not want you to remain in the same place. I want you to step out of the shadows. I am asking you to open the eyes of your heart to see the unseen. Look past the bills, past the stress, past the harsh words of others. See my hand holding yours. Feel my love wrapping around you like the warmth of the morning sun. Let it melt away the cold fear that grips your chest. You are my child, and I've loved you from the start. I am pulling you out of the rush. I am asking you to stay with me here. Do not walk away from this encounter. Give me your full attention. I have a plan for you, and it begins with you realizing how deeply you are known, how fiercely you are protected, and how intensely you are loved by your Creator. Open your heart to me now, and let us begin this journey together. Pause right where you are. Take a deep, intentional breath. Feel the physical weight pressing down on your chest, the tension coiled tightly in your shoulders, and the racing thoughts that keep you awake in the midnight hours. I see the heavy yoke of worldly anxiety you are dragging through your days. You are carrying a massive, suffocating load that was never meant for your shoulders. I see the specific fears that gnaw at your peace, the pressure at your job, the unspoken tensions in your family, the fear of what the future holds, and the exhausting feeling of being entirely overlooked by those around you. You are trying to manage the unmanageable, striving in your own limited strength, and it is breaking you. Release your grip. Drop those heavy bags right now. I am inviting you to cast every single care, every profound worry, and every unspoken dread upon my shoulders. I understand you have felt lost and alone many times, as if you have completely lost your way, but my love for you has never changed. My grace is entirely sufficient for this exact current struggle. You do not need to figure out tomorrow, nor do you need to unravel the complexities of next year. You only need to surrender this present moment to me. When you feel knocked down or completely overwhelmed by the demands of society, know that I am always with you, and I will never abandon you, not even in the deepest darkness. Look at your hands. They are scarred and weary from trying to hold your life together. Now look at my hands. They were pierced so that you could be free. I am asking you to release the crippling shame of your past mistakes directly into the vast ocean of my mercy. The enemy loves to play your failures like a broken record, whispering that you are disqualified, unworthy, and damaged. Silence those lies immediately. My blood has purified you, broken your chains, and set you free from all evil. Do not dwell on the past that I have completely forgotten. Live in the present without fear. Step into the absolute freedom found in total surrender to my will. Surrender is not a sign of defeat. It is the ultimate victory. It is the moment you finally stop fighting the current and allow the powerful river of my spirit to carry you safely to the shore. I am actively working to restore the peace that surpasses all human understanding within your heart. This is a profound, unshakable peace that does not make sense to the world. It is a calm that exists not because the storm has vanished, but because you finally realize who is in the boat with you. Let my peace flood your soul, wash away the turmoil, and leave behind nothing but serenity and the whisper of eternal love. Quiet your mind and listen carefully to my voice. I do not always speak in the roaring thunder or the shattering earthquake. Often, my voice is the gentle, steady warmth of a golden hour light breaking through the darkest, heaviest clouds. You must learn to understand how I speak through the very circumstances of your daily life. When the world demands panic, and you suddenly feel an inexplicable, quiet calm wash over you, that is me. I am the whisper of peace in the center of your chaos. I am the sudden clarity when you are drowning in confusion. Decode these whispers. Pay attention to the subtle nudges in your spirit, for they are the compass guiding you home. Open my word. Do not treat the scriptures as a collection of dead history, but as a living, breathing lamp for your weary feet. When you read those pages, it is my breath moving across your spirit. My word is a lamp under your feet, a light under your path, and my commandments are sweeter than honey, giving you the strength and courage to rise and conquer. Immerse yourself in the scriptures, and keep your heart fervent in faith, because the forces of darkness will instantly retreat as your blessings unfold. Let those ancient, powerful truths become the absolute foundation of your everyday reality. Look closely at the coincidences in your life. The unexpected phone call from a friend exactly when you needed encouragement. The financial provision that arrived at the last possible second. The closed door that ultimately saved you from disaster. These are not accidents. They are the meticulous, loving handiwork of your Creator. I am actively orchestrating everything in your favor, and my plans for you are always for your absolute benefit. Discerning my hand in these moments will build a fortress of faith in your mind. Learn to interpret my silence. There are moments when heaven seems quiet, and you feel entirely alone in the void. Do not panic. Silence is often my loudest form of communication. When a teacher administers a test, they remain silent. I am stretching your faith, expanding your capacity to trust me in the dark. Learn to wait with a radical, expectant faith. The wait can be excruciating, the endless contemplation wearing on your soul. But give to me all your burdens, because you were never meant to bear them alone. Wait with the fierce anticipation of a watchman waiting for the dawn. The light is coming, and my timing is always flawless. Shatter the distorted mirrors of this world immediately. Society has handed you a false reflection, telling you that your worth is tied directly to your productivity, your bank account, your relationship status, or your physical appearance. Break that glass. Refuse to accept that lie for one more second. You are not defined by the fleeting standards of a broken world, nor are you defined by your performance. You are defined entirely by my boundless, unconditional love. I loved you deeply before you even drew your first breath, and my love for you remains unaltered by your shortcomings or the multitude of your troubles. Look into my eyes and reclaim your true identity. You possess the royal, majestic heritage of a child of the Most High God. You are not an accident, a burden, or an afterthought. I formed the galaxies with a spoken word, but my ultimate masterpiece is you. I called you from the farthest reaches of the earth, chose you, and said you are mine. So there is absolutely no need to be scared. The power of being intimately known by your name before time even began should fill you with a fierce, unbreakable confidence. Do not hide your scars from me. You look at your past wounds as marks of profound shame, but I am transforming those exact scars into undeniable symbols of ultimate victory. Your survival is a testament to my sustaining grace. Every battle you have fought, every tear you have wept, has been forging a warrior's spirit within you. I am healing you and setting you free, bestowing upon you the freedom and vitality to embrace life with absolute vigor, guidance, and immense joy. Your history of pain is becoming your platform of power. Walk today in the full authority of your heavenly calling. Stop shrinking back to make others comfortable. Stop apologizing for the light I have placed inside you. You are equipped to conquer giants and rise each day ready to tackle life's hardest battles. When you walk into a room, realize that the Spirit of the living God walks in with you. Claim your space. Speak my truth. Let everyone see that you are my cherished child, and let me lead you from the dark places you have been into paths of profound peace. Reclaim your crown and walk boldly in your true identity. Stop fighting the fire and let it do its holy work. I know you question why I allow the intense, burning trials to enter your life. You ask why the path must be littered with such sharp, painful thorns. My beloved, the refiner's fire is not meant to destroy you. It is designed to burn away the impurities and refine your character like pure, shining gold. Just as gold shines brightest after enduring the intense fire, so will you emerge gleaming, entirely purified of all that is not of light within you. These trials are shaping you, strengthening your spiritual muscles, and preparing you to carry the massive weight of the glory I am about to reveal in you. Open your eyes to find the hidden, miraculous blessing within your current desert season. The wilderness feels dry, lonely, and barren, but roots grow the deepest when water is scarce. In this season of spiritual drought, you are learning to rely solely on me. I am carving a pathway in your wilderness, and I will summon streams of living water to flow in your arid, barren lands. Trust my timing, especially when the doors you desperately want to open remain firmly locked. You weep outside the closed door, not realizing there is a predator waiting on the other side. My no is always a shield of divine protection. My not yet is a period of vital preparation. Do not rush the process I am working within your soul. Understand that your greatest weakness, the very thing you despise about yourself, becomes the exact platform for my greatest strength. When you reach the absolute end of your own ability, my power perfectly takes over. You are not weak. You are simply in the perfect position to be completely rescued by my mighty hand. I give you the strength to defeat all evil and to walk safely among profound dangers. Develop a heart of radical, unyielding gratitude right in the middle of your fiercest storm. Do not wait for the rain to stop before you choose to sing. Gratitude shifts the entire atmosphere of your mind and breaks the heavy chains of despair. Thank me for your life, your family, your health, and your sincere faith, because these are the shields that keep you immensely strong in times of trial. Praise me for the closed doors. Praise me for the delays. Thank me for the thorns, because they keep you clinging tightly to my grace. Embrace this new perspective and watch the storm lose its terrifying power over you. My precious child, the thorns you have walked through were never meant to destroy you, but to prepare you for this exact, urgent moment of harvest. I am calling you right now to become an active vessel of my love, so that this living water can reach the parched, desperate souls wandering in the darkness of this world. My word declares, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Your presence here is a divine appointment, not a coincidence, a critical hour to sow your seeds of faith through a super thanks, a channel membership, or a PayPal gift. I will multiply your gifts when you plant this seed, open the windows of heaven, and pour blessings upon you until they overflow. Your generosity becomes a blazing beacon of light, carrying my words of healing to broken hearts who are waiting for their own 29-minute breakthrough. You must step out in radical obedience today, trusting that I am your ultimate provider. You must click the link in the description now, plant your seed with bold faith, and watch me transform your life. My precious child, do not close this out and walk away. You have just begun to feel the heavy burdens lift, yet the deepest healing is still ahead. It breaks my heart to watch you turn back to the loud, demanding world when I have a mountain of grace waiting to pour into your weary soul. Stay with me. Listen closely. Turning away right now means picking up the exact anxieties I am trying to destroy. Take another breath. Stay in my presence, and let me finish the miracle I have just started in you. Listen to my command and prepare to move. The time for passive waiting has officially ended. I am calling you into the explosive, transformative power of radical obedience. Here is an immense, uncontainable blessing that immediately follows a simple, trusting yes to my lead. You have stayed in the comfortable, safe harbor for far too long, fearing the unpredictable waves. But you cannot experience the miraculous if you refuse to leave the shore. You must move entirely beyond your comfort zone and step into the vast realm of miracles. Do not underestimate the massive impact of your seemingly small actions. How small acts of faith move mountains in the spiritual realm is a mystery the world cannot understand. A whispered prayer, a quiet act of forgiveness, a single step of faith into the unknown. These are the powerful weapons that demolish strongholds. There is a vital, unbreakable connection between your hearing and your doing. It is not enough to merely listen to my words. You must aggressively act upon them. I am equipping you with the courage and the ability to accomplish great things, to grow in immense wisdom, to overcome massive obstacles, and to defeat spiritual armies. Leave behind the false safety of the shore and dare to walk on the wild, roaring water. Yes, the waves are terrifying, and the wind is fierce, but keep your eyes locked entirely on me. When you step out in radical obedience, you defy the natural laws of this fallen world. You will not sink, because my hand is firmly holding yours. Trust in me with all your heart. Cease to lean entirely on humanity, and place all your faith and hope directly in me, for only I can revive what was dead. Experience the unmatched, exhilarating joy of being a direct instrument of my divine purpose. I am using you to bring brilliant light into the darkest, most desolate corners of the earth. Your obedience is the exact key that unlocks the prison doors for someone else. Your courage will become a blazing beacon for those lost in the shadows. Do not hesitate for another second. Take the bold step. Say yes to the difficult calling. Say yes to the path of resistance. Say yes to me today, and step into the incredible, miraculous life I have destined for you since the beginning of time. Come closer to me right now, and let down the defensive walls you have spent years building. Breathe out the exhaustion of pretending that you are always entirely fine. I see the invisible wounds you carry, the deep injuries the world cannot see and does not understand. You cover them up with a brave face, walking into your workplace and sitting at your dinner table, smiling while your spirit is quietly bleeding. But I am acquainted with the deepest recesses of your being, cognizant of your triumphs and accomplishments, yet equally aware of your vulnerabilities and shortcomings. Hand those hidden, aching places over to me. I am reaching out to touch the broken places of your childhood, the moments when a harsh word from a parent or a teacher lodged itself into your heart and convinced you that you were not enough. I see the precise moment your innocence was bruised. Allow my healing hands to trace over those ancient scars. I will catch every tear and raise you up. Release the agonizing pain of betrayal into my absolute care. I know exactly how it feels to be forsaken by those you trusted, attacked by hatred, and to feel the sharpness of rejection. You opened your heart to someone, and they walked away, leaving you with a hardened, guarded spirit. You are terrified to trust again. But I am here to restore the soft, beating heart within your chest. Do not hold on to the heavy, suffocating spirit of heaviness anymore. I am actively removing the agonizing weight of that old coat of sorrow and wrapping you instead in a glorious, radiant garment of praise. I will heal your soul and return the peace that has eluded you. Exchange your grief for my joy, right here, right now. Step into the miraculous freedom of forgiving those who have never, and may never, say they are sorry. The miracle of forgiveness is not for their benefit. It is the key that unlocks your own prison cell. Holding on to bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Release and forget those who have wronged you. In time they will recognize their fault, and I will handle them. When you surrender the desperate need for an apology, you reclaim your own peace. Forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you desperately deserve to be free. Bear no bitterness towards them, because I will transform even negative circumstances to your benefit. Understand that profound internal peace is the absolute prerequisite for your external fruitfulness. You cannot produce a rich, vibrant harvest in your career or your family while your internal soil is poisoned by unspoken trauma. I am the one who forgives all your sins, heals your ailments, rescues you from despair, and removes your disgrace to restore your dignity. Let me cultivate the soil of your soul today. I promise to wipe away every hidden tear you have shed in the quiet darkness of your bedroom. I have seen your quiet weeping, and I have collected every single tear. You will see how the wounds of the past shall heal, and you shall suffer no more today. Walk into this bright new day completely healed, profoundly whole, and utterly restored by my unfailing love. Stand up tall and prepare yourself for the reality of the daily battlefield. You do not wake up to a neutral world. You step out of your door every single morning into a domain of profound spiritual conflict. The sudden anxiety that hits you on your commute, the harsh, critical email from a colleague, the relentless stream of negative news on your screen. These are not random occurrences. They are targeted strikes designed to steal your joy and cripple your purpose. Therefore, I command you to put on the brilliant armor of light I have meticulously designed for your absolute protection. Arm yourself with the shield of faith and the sword of my word. Do not walk into your office, your school, or your neighborhood defenseless. Gird your loins right now with the absolute, unbending truth of my word. In a society that constantly shifts its values and tells you that truth is merely a personal preference, my word remains the solid, immovable rock beneath your feet. Heaven and earth may fade, but my words will never disappear. Wrap this truth around your core to support your entire spiritual posture. Next, secure the heavy, gleaming breastplate of righteousness firmly over your chest. This breastplate shields your vital organs, specifically your heart, from the toxic, paralyzing arrows of guilt and condemnation. You are not shielded by your own perfect behavior. You are completely covered by my perfect righteousness. When the enemy attempts to remind you of your past sins, point directly to the breastplate I have given you. Walk confidently in shoes uniquely prepared with the gospel of peace. As you navigate the chaotic, high-stress environments of your daily life, your footsteps will bring a supernatural calm. You will carry an undeniable, grounding peace into boardrooms, living rooms, and grocery aisles. Even in the middle of a conflict, you will remain entirely steady. Raise the massive, impenetrable shield of faith to extinguish every single fiery dart of doubt, panic, and insecurity. When a sudden thought whispers that you are going to fail, or that you will never have enough money, hold up that shield. Your faith is like a sword that cuts through barriers. Let those burning lies hit your faith and fall harmlessly to the ground as ashes. Finally, place the protective helmet of salvation upon your head to guard your mental health, your thoughts, and your mind. The battlefield is located directly between your ears. Secure this helmet to filter out the relentless noise of comparison, depression, and self-hatred. Take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my spoken word, and wield it with absolute, divine precision. You are not called to cower in a defensive stance. You are commanded to push back the darkness. Speak my promises aloud in your car, in your shower, and over your children. Use what has already been given to you, and I assure you that nothing and no one will defeat you in the time to come. March forward today fully armored, brilliantly illuminated, and entirely victorious. Look back at the history of your family line, but do not look with despair. I am opening your eyes to identify the destructive, cyclical patterns that have bound your family for generations. You see the unspoken shadows, the fierce anger that was passed from your grandfather to your father and now tries to surface in you, the relentless cycle of debt and financial struggle, the insidious grip of addiction, the chronic pattern of broken marriages. I know exactly what you are looking at, and I know the secret fear hiding in your chest that you are permanently doomed to repeat their mistakes. Reject that fear instantly. I am breaking every chain, tearing down every curse and spell with which you've been deceived. You are not a prisoner of your genetics, nor are you a captive to your family's history. Step into the supreme, overwhelming authority of my blood to sever every ancient tie. The blood I shed on Calvary is infinitely more powerful than any genetic predisposition or generational trauma. My blood has purified you, broken your chains, and set you free from all evil. I am handing you the spiritual bolt cutters right now. Command those generational shadows to release their grip on your mind and your future. You do not have to carry the heavy, suffocating baggage of your ancestors. You have been adopted into a brand new, royal bloodline. By my side, they cannot make you stumble, for I will be with you, guarding and loving you forever. Claim a brilliant, entirely new legacy for your children and their children's children. You are the designated chain breaker of your family. Because you have chosen to walk with me, the trajectory of your entire lineage is shifting at this very second. You are transforming a long, dark history of lack into a brilliant, overflowing future of abundance. Scarcity will not find a place in your home or in the lives of your children or their children, for I will shower you with abundance in every aspect of your life. When your children look back at you, they will not see the continuation of a curse, they will see the precise origin of a generational blessing. Understand the staggering, limitless power of a single surrendered soul to completely change a family's destiny. Because of your quiet prayers, your radical obedience, and your steadfast faith, blessings are flowing backward and forward through your family tree. You are the conduit for a massive spiritual turnaround. Walk boldly into the brilliant light of this new, redeemed heritage. Do not look backward with regret, and do not apologize for stepping out of the familiar darkness. You are forging a new path of peace, stability, and joy. Embrace this newfound life devoid of solitude and fear, enveloped in my tender embrace. Hold your head high, break the final links of those old chains, and lead your family into the promised land I have meticulously prepared for you. Look at your hands, and notice how tightly you are gripping what little you think you have. I see you checking your bank accounts with a racing heart, staring at the rising cost of groceries, and lying awake calculating how you will cover the mortgage or save for the future. You have allowed the terrifying, suffocating mindset of scarcity to hijack your peace. Stop living in the shadow of lack. Shift your mindset right now from the world's terrifying scarcity to the boundless, overflowing plenty of my kingdom. I am your God. You will want for nothing. I am Jehovah Jireh, your ultimate and unfailing provider. The economy of heaven does not rise and fall with the stock market, and your true supply is not determined by your employer. Understand the absolute spiritual laws of sowing, reaping, and divine increase. When you operate out of fear, you hoard, and hoarding stops the flow of my provision. Open your hands immediately. If you hold your resources with a clenched fist, nothing can be taken out, but absolutely nothing new can be placed in. When you give, let your heart overflow with generosity, and keep your deeds silent, known only to me. Plant your seeds of time, love, and finances with a joyful, expectant heart. I will not only lavish you with abundant blessings, but I will also fill you with a grace so profound it will empower you to achieve your aspirations. The harvest is an inevitable, spiritual law. I delight in prospering the souls of my faithful children. It brings me immense joy to see you utterly thrive. I am going to resolve every situation that troubles your soul, and I will bless your family, your health, and your finances. But understand this clearly. True prosperity always begins in the soul. If I give you massive external wealth while your internal soul is bankrupt, the wealth will crush you. I am enriching your spirit first, preparing you to manage your blessings wisely so that none may take them from you. Let me mature your character so that you can safely carry the weight of the abundance I am releasing. Use the resources I place in your hands to actively build what is eternal. Money is merely a tool, a brick to be used in constructing my kingdom. Do not use it merely to build higher walls around your own comfort. Use it to build a longer table for those who are hungry. Your table will never lack for bread, and your needs will always be met, allowing you to generously assist those around you. Trust completely in the bread of life for your daily bread. I will provide exactly what you need, precisely when you need it. Let go of your financial anxieties right now. The debt, the bills, the lack, hand them all to me. I am pronouncing blessings upon you, declaring you free from debt, restored in your finances, and prosperous in your endeavors. Step into the rich, abundant provision of my heavenly storehouse today. You have just stepped into the boundless, overflowing riches of my heavenly storehouse, leaving behind the dark, terrifying shadow of lack. I invite you now to partner with me directly, taking a portion of what I have given you to build a longer table for starving souls. My promise stands. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and test me in this to see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven. Your sacred opportunity to break the spirit of poverty is here, inviting you to sow a financial seed through a super thanks, a membership, or the PayPal link below. Your faithful giving sends rivers of living water rushing into the arid, barren lands of those who have waited far longer than 29 minutes for a miracle. I promise to shield your finances, rebuke the devourer for your sake, and turn your quiet sacrifices into a magnificent harvest of provision. You cannot let the fear of scarcity hold back the massive blessing I have prepared for your obedience. You must use the link in the description to give your gift right now and step fully into the miraculous multiplication of my kingdom. Do you feel that undeniable shift in your spirit? Do not stop listening. I am actively unlocking the heavy iron doors to your future. It deeply saddens me when my children leave the table right before the greatest feast is served. You are standing on the very edge of a massive, life-altering breakthrough. Do not let the enemy distract you with sudden, urgent feeling interruptions. Anchor your heart right here. Walking away now means leaving your deepest prayers unanswered, just as I am speaking the absolute solution. Keep your eyes locked on me, and do not miss what I am about to say next. Quiet the swirling chaos around you and pay very close attention to what you are allowing into your mind. You are bombarded every single minute by a cacophony of loud voices, the opinions of your peers, the toxic comparisons on social media, the fear-mongering of the news, and the subtle, deceptive whispers of the enemy. You must learn the critical art of spiritual discernment. Differentiate sharply between my true voice and the deceptive voice of the stranger. My voice will always bring profound peace, deep conviction, and alignment with my word. The stranger's voice brings sudden panic, heavy guilt, rushing, and chaotic confusion. If a thought pushes you into frantic anxiety, it is not from me. Be still and have faith, for as the winds and storms cease at the sound of my voice, so too shall the turbulent seas of doubt within your heart be stilled. Test the spirits meticulously to ensure they completely align with my absolute truth. Do not blindly accept every piece of advice, every cultural trend, or every brilliant new idea as divine. The enemy often packages his deadliest poison in the most beautiful, intellectual wrapping paper. Disregard the deceitful words and resist the influence of those who lure you back into destructive habits. Use the gift of profound wisdom I have placed inside you for making those heavy, life-altering decisions, whether to take that new job, whether to move across the country, or whether to end a toxic relationship. Before you make a move, pause and seek my face. Rely entirely on the Holy Spirit as your flawless, internal compass. When you feel a sudden check in your spirit, a quiet, unexplainable hesitation before signing a contract or entering a partnership, do not ignore it. That is me, pulling you back from an unseen cliff. I will alert you when danger lurks, and when evil comes against you, do not be afraid. I am granting you the supernatural ability to recognize the enemy's hidden traps long before they are even set. You will walk through minefields completely unharmed because your steps are divinely ordered. Remain fiercely vigilant in a world filled with beautiful, intoxicating dissections. The enemy will not always tempt you with obvious evil. He will tempt you with a good opportunity that distracts you from my great calling. Do not open your soul to false teachings, nor let hatred take root in your heart, and do not be swayed by every nonsense you see, hear, or read. Keep your spiritual eyes wide open. Sharpen your discernment daily by immersing yourself in my word. When you know the authentic, genuine truth intimately, you will immediately spot the counterfeit from a mile away. Walk closely with me today. Trust the gentle nudges of my spirit, and I will guide you safely and perfectly through the complex maze of this world. Pause right now, my precious child, and lay down the deep, agonizing frustration you have been carrying over the prayers that seem to hit a brass ceiling. I hear the silent, desperate questions echoing in your mind when you stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m. You might wonder where I was when you were hurting, or why the heavens seem entirely shut to your most urgent, tearful requests. You check your phone for a message that never comes. You stare at your bank account hoping for a sudden change, and you sit in the sterile waiting room of a doctor's office praying for a different result. You feel the profound ache of my silence, and the enemy whispers that I have abandoned you, that I do not care, or that you simply do not have enough faith. Reject the toxic, suffocating lie immediately. I am listening to your requests, and I am not ignoring your pleas. My silence is never an absence. It is a profound, holy preparation. Trust the loving, steady hands of the great physician, even when the medicine I prescribe tastes unbearably bitter. When a surgeon cuts into the flesh, it is not to destroy the patient, but to aggressively remove the disease that threatens their life. I see the absolute end from the very beginning, grasping the massive, intricate timeline of your existence that your eyes cannot yet perceive. What you currently see as a painful, devastating rejection is actually my fierce, loving protection. I am shielding you from unseen predators, from destructive relationships, and from premature elevations that would crush your character. If I haven't responded yet, it's because I'm preparing something even better for you. Accept this divine delay, for it is actively forging an unbreakable resilience within your soul. Step into the waiting room of faith, not with an attitude of defeated resignation, but with a radical, expectant posture. Waiting is not a passive, idle punishment. It is an active, vigorous gymnasium for your spiritual muscles. In this quiet, unhurried space, your roots are pushing deeper into the dark soil, searching for the living water that only I can provide. You are learning the crucial difference between depending on my hands for what I can give you and seeking my face for who I am. Shift the intense focus of your prayers right now. Stop demanding that I merely alter your external circumstances and invite me to radically transform your internal landscape. Align your beating heart completely with mine. Find your absolute contentment, even when the undeniable answer is wait. The world tells you to rush, to force open the locked doors, and to manipulate your way into the rooms you desire. But I command you to stand completely still. My timing is impeccable, never too late or too soon. I know the excruciating pain of the wait, the endless contemplation of what might be, but I urge you now to give to me all your burdens. Let the profound, unshakable peace of my presence become your ultimate reward. The answered prayer will eventually come, and when it does, it will be far more magnificent than you ever imagined. But until that sunrise breaks over the horizon, let my steady, comforting whisper be enough for your weary soul. Open your eyes, my beloved, and look at your life through the vast, eternal lens of my grand design. You often feel entirely insignificant, like an invisible, replaceable cog in a massive, indifferent machine. You go to your job, you type the endless emails, you wash the dishes, you pay the bills, and you wonder if any of this mundane routine actually matters in the grand scheme of eternity. I am telling you today, with absolute certainty, that you stand as a magnificent example of beauty and value in my eyes. You are not a random, cosmic accident. I carefully crafted you with love and intention, setting you up for success and preparing wonderful blessings for your journey. Your specific life is a vital, irreplaceable thread woven into the glorious tapestry of eternity. Discover the unique, perfectly tailored mission I have specifically designed for you. You do not need to stand on a massive stage or amass 1 million followers to fulfill your heavenly calling. Your calling is found in the quiet, unseen moments of your everyday life. It is the patient, loving smile you offer to the exhausted cashier. It is the gentle, steady guidance you provide to your children. It is the absolute integrity you demonstrate in your workplace when no one is watching. I have a genuine plan and purpose tailored just for you. I'm asking you to fully embrace the why behind your very existence. You were created to be a radiant, piercing light in the darkest, most neglected corners of the earth. Understand how your specific, unique gifts serve the greater body of Christ. Do not fall into the toxic trap of minimizing your talents simply because they look different from someone else's. If you are a quiet listener, your empathetic ear is a profound ministry. If you are a skilled organizer, your administrative ability creates peace in the midst of chaos. Use the power, intelligence, wisdom, and grace I've instilled within you. I have entrusted you with the power to show my love through kindness to everyone you meet. Step into your role with aggressive, holy confidence. Do not hide your divine spark under the heavy, suffocating basket of self-doubt. Look forward to the magnificent, eternal rewards awaiting those who run their race with endurance and finish well. The world will not always applaud your quiet sacrifices. You will be overlooked by society, and your faithful service may go entirely unnoticed by your peers. But the audience of heaven is giving you a standing ovation. I record every single tear, every quiet act of generosity, and every moment you chose love over anger. You have a destiny bestowed by me, so do not diminish yourself by mimicking others or settling for leftovers. Rise up, my precious child, and walk today with the unbreakable dignity of an ambassador of the Most High King, carrying the very weight of eternity in your everyday steps. Hold my hand tightly, my beloved child, because I know the path has suddenly plunged into a terrifying, suffocating darkness. You have entered the deep, narrow valley of the shadow. I see the devastating grief that sits like a heavy, immovable stone on your chest. I see the quiet, agonizing tears you shed when you look at the empty chair at the dinner table, or when you face the frightening reality of a devastating diagnosis. You feel completely isolated, stumbling through the pitch-black night, terrified of what hides in the shadows. But I command you to hear my voice cutting through the dark. Do not be afraid. I am your protector and solid ground, even when troubles seem too much. I am walking directly beside you in this agonizing valley. Find profound, unshakable comfort in my rod and my staff during these times of intense, blinding grief. My rod is your fierce, immovable defense, beating back the vicious wolves of despair and suicidal thoughts that circle you in the night. My staff is the gentle, curved hook that pulls you back when you stumble blindly toward the edge of the cliff. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided. Even in the fiercest tempests, when the winds howl and the seas rage against you, remember, beneath my wings you are sheltered, my hand steadfastly upholding you. You may not be able to see my face through the thick, blinding fog of your pain, but you can absolutely trust the strong, familiar grip of my hand. Understand this crucial truth. The valley is a temporary passage, not your permanent destination. The enemy wants to convince you that this agonizing darkness is your new, forever reality. He wants you to build a house in the valley of grief and settle down in the ashes. Refuse that lie instantly. You are walking through the valley. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when your legs are shaking with exhaustion. I know when you cry, when you feel despair and loneliness, which is why I never let go of your hand. I am actively leading you out of this suffocating trench and up toward the sunlit, vibrant peaks of restoration. Strengthen your faith right now, especially when your physical sight is completely clouded by tears. This is the exact moment where your trust is tested and proven pure like gold in the furnace. You do not need to understand the why behind the pain. You only need to know the who walking beside you. Weep, mourn, and let the heavy tears fall. I do not despise your brokenness, but do not lose your absolute hope. No night is so dark that it doesn't lead to dawn, and with each morning new possibilities emerge. The brilliant, warm light of the morning is rushing toward you at this very second. Keep walking, my precious one. The dawn is inevitably going to break, and the shadows will completely flee away. My beloved, even as I guide you out of the terrifying, suffocating darkness of the valley, I am calling you to become a torchbearer for others who are still lost. I am asking you to join my holy mission, ensuring that this message of profound comfort reaches the desperately broken before it is too late. My scripture reveals that whoever sows generously will also reap generously, and I will supply and multiply your seed for sowing. Your urgent support through a super thanks, joining as a member, or sending a PayPal offering is the exact fuel that carries my light into the deepest shadows. You are physically extending my healing hand by giving today, catching the tears of millions who are waiting for my voice after a long 29-minute delay. I will surround your home with warrior angels, keeping you safe from the fears that come at night and crowning your days with unshakable peace. You must not hesitate when my spirit nudges your heart to act in this pivotal hour. You must click the link below immediately, plant your seed of hope, and help me guide my lost sheep back home. We are walking through the dark shadows together, but the brilliant dawn is just breaking over your life. Do not abandon this divine conversation. It brings tears to my eyes to see you give up and walk away just when the light is finally touching your weary face. I am speaking the exact words of your survival. Stand firm and keep listening. To leave my presence now is to step back into the freezing cold just as my holy fire is warming your bones. Hold my hand tighter. Do not let go. Hear my voice, and let me guide you the rest of the way. Stand up. Square your shoulders and lift your chin. The time for cowering in the shadows has permanently ended. I am calling you entirely out of your safe, comfortable hiding place and stepping into the fierce, roaring arena of holy boldness. Cast off the heavy, suffocating cloak of the spirit of fear and timidity right this instant. That shrinking, apologetic posture does not belong to a royal heir of my kingdom. I have not given you a spirit of cowardice but of power, love, and a violently disciplined mind. I endow you with the power, might, and authority to face down every trial, hurdle, or barrier. It is time to roar. Speak my absolute truth in love, completely regardless of the steep social or professional cost. You work in environments and live in communities that aggressively mock my name and actively celebrate destruction. You have remained silent to keep the fragile, temporary peace, nodding along to avoid the conflict. Amor, I am filling your lungs with the fierce wind of my spirit. You possess a strength greater than you realize, and you are designed to overcome. Do not surrender, do not yield, do not abandon your dreams. Speak up in that intimidating meadow. Set that firm, uncomfortable boundary with a toxic family member. When you open your mouth in holy boldness, it is my voice that will shatter the oppressive atmosphere in the room. Find the unbreakable courage to stand entirely alone when the rest of the world goes blindly astray. It is terrifying to be the only one standing when everyone else has bowed their knee to the culture, but you are never truly alone. The hosts of heaven are standing shoulder to shoulder with you. Be a walking, breathing witness of my miraculous power in your chaotic, everyday life. Your life, a testimony to my presence, can be the instrument through which the blind of heart will see the dawning of my light. Do not dilute your faith to make it palatable for a dying world. Your unapologetic, blazing light is exactly what the darkness desperately needs. Aggressively take back the precious ground the enemy has stolen from you. He has stolen your peace, your family's unity, your financial stability, and your mental health. Draw a line in the sand today. Rely entirely on the overwhelming strength of my spirit. The adversary of your peace will try to convince you that you're utterly alone, that I've turned my back on you for your imperfections. But that's a lie. March forward with the absolute confidence of a conquering warrior. Reclaim your home. Reclaim your mind. Command the shadows to leave your family. Walk in the unmatched authority I have freely given you, and watch the forces of darkness violently scatter before your advancing, holy boldness. Listen closely to the chaotic thoughts racing through your mind at this very second. Stop letting the enemy build a fortress of panic inside your head. The true battlefield is not out there in the world. It is located right behind your eyes. I see you lying awake in the dark, staring at the ceiling, calculating how to pay the upcoming bills, replaying a tense conversation from your workplace, and letting the paralyzing fear of the future pull you under. I hear the relentless stream of anxiety that constantly threatens your peace. I want you to capture every single one of those frantic, terrifying thoughts right now. Do not let them roam freely through your mind. Arrest them immediately. Take every thought captive and force it to bow down to the absolute truth of my word. Filter every fear, every insecurity, and every worst-case scenario through the clear, unshakable lens of my promises. If a thought tells you that you are going to fail or that you are utterly alone, recognize it as a fiery dart from the stranger. Extinguish it instantly with the massive shield of your faith. Look at your reflection in the mirror and tell me what you truly hear. For years, you have tolerated a brutal, exhausting cycle of negative self-talk and heavy condemnation. You have allowed a voice that is not mine to convince you that you are falling behind, that you are not smart enough, not attractive enough, and entirely overlooked by those who matter. I am completely breaking the toxic, suffocating cycle today. I cleanse your soul from pessimism and endow you with a dynamic, powerful faith. You are not a failure, you are the meticulous, cherished craftsmanship of the Creator of the universe. When the enemy whispers that you are damaged goods, silence him with the roar of your redemption. I am actively replacing that heavy spirit of condemnation with a fierce, quiet confidence. Speak my words over yourself until the lies you have believed burn away completely, vanishing like morning mist under the rising sun. Lift your gaze away from the exhausting, endless demands of this temporary world. Set your affections, your deepest desires, and your daily focus firmly on things above, not on the shifting, unreliable things of this earth. Society constantly demands that you hustle harder, accumulate more, and measure your worth by your bank account or your professional title. But those worldly metrics are fragile blasts. easily shattered by a single, unexpected storm. When you anchor your mind to my eternal kingdom, the sudden crises of your daily life lose their terrifying power. Fill your mind with my promises that bring healing and alter how you react to challenges. When you wake up in the morning, before you look at your phone or check the news, look directly to me. Fill your thoughts with my grace, my provision, and my unending love. Cultivate the mind of Christ in your daily, ordinary interactions. When you walk into your kitchen and the family tension instantly spikes, you do not have to participate in the chaos. When a coworker unjustly takes credit for your hard work, you do not have to react with bitter retaliation. I will give you the power to manage your feelings and remain calm no matter what happens around you. The mind of Christ is not easily offended, it is not driven by ego, and it does not desperately seek the hollow applause of mortals. It is anchored in a profound, unshakable humility and an undeniable, quiet authority. Let my thoughts become your thoughts. Let my perspective become your perspective. When you view the people who overlook or hurt you through my eyes, your anger will melt into deep, divine compassion. Watch how a radically renewed mind leads to an entirely transformed life. When you change the atmosphere of your thoughts, you completely alter the trajectory of your future. Your physical body will release the immense tension it has been holding in your neck and shoulders. Your sleep will become deep and restorative. You will wake up with a vibrant, unexplainable joy that circumstances cannot dictate. I am breathing new life into your spirit and transforming your way of thinking. You are no longer a victim of your swirling emotions or your difficult circumstances. You are a victorious child of the Most High God. Step out of the mental prison you have lived in for so long. The iron door is wide open. Walk into the brilliant, expansive freedom of a mind perfectly aligned with heaven, and experience the glorious, overwhelming peace that I have destined for you. Look closely at the branches of a healthy, deeply rooted tree. The branches do not scream, strain, or struggle to push out sweet, vibrant fruit. The fruit emerges entirely naturally because the branch remains intimately connected to the life-giving vine. Stop trying so hard to manufacture your own goodness. You are exhausting yourself trying to act perfectly, trying to force yourself to be patient when you are secretly boiling with rage. I see you gritting your teeth, trying to be a better person through sheer willpower. Drop that impossible, heavy burden right now. Your life is a journey filled with delightful surprises, abundant opportunities, and growth that leads to greater achievements. You cannot produce authentic spiritual fruit on your own. Yield your heart entirely to me. Anchor yourself directly into my presence, and let my life flow organically through your veins. Embrace the natural, effortless emergence of true love, profound joy, and unshakable peace. When you finally stop striving and begin simply abiding in me, my peace will flood your soul, washing away turmoil, leaving serenity and a whisper of eternal love. You will not have to force a smile when you feel completely broken. Joy will bubble up from the deepest, most quiet well inside you, completely unaffected by the chaotic circumstances surrounding your daily life. Let my profound love fill the emptiness that lingers in your heart. Peace will become your permanent, default setting. Instead of reacting with instant panic when an unexpected bill arrives, you will take a deep, steady breath, knowing absolutely that I am holding your future. Develop fierce patience and radical kindness in a hurried, aggressive world. You live in a society that honks its horn the millisecond the light turns green, a world that snaps at the exhausted waiter and writes cruel words behind the safety of a screen. I command you to walk differently. When someone cuts you off in traffic, do not let anger hijack your spirit. When your child asks the same question for the 10th time, pause and let my gentle spirit guide your response. I will give you the power to manage your feelings and remain calm no matter what happens around you. Your kindness will become a shocking, disruptive force of light in a dark, impatient room. Stand firm with unyielding goodness and absolute faithfulness when the fierce trials hit. It is easy to be faithful when the bank account is full and everyone is healthy. But true, resilient faithfulness is proven when the sky goes completely dark. When your coworkers are gossiping in the break room, choose goodness. When no one is watching your screen late at night, choose purity. You are a living testimony of my unending love, and the blessings that await you are more abundant than you can imagine. I am forging a solid iron core of character inside you. Do not let the shifting, situational ethics of your culture dilute the absolute purity of your faithful heart. Walk in gentle power toward yourself and practice absolute self-control over your fleshly desires. Stop beating yourself up with harsh, critical words every time you make a minor mistake. I am gentle with you. You must be gentle with yourself. But I also call you to practice fierce, unwavering self-control. Do not let your fleeting appetites, your sudden cravings, or your temporary emotions steer the heavy ship of your life. When temptation nears, turn to me without delay, for I am always listening. Master your physical urges, control your spending, and discipline your time. When the world looks at your life, they will immediately recognize me through the quiet, solid, and completely transformed character of your everyday behavior. Stop. Cease your endless, frantic labor right this very minute. You are running on terrifyingly empty fumes, rushing from one exhausting commitment to another, fueled by caffeine and pure anxiety. You are terrified that if you pause for even a single second, everything you have built will instantly collapse. Let go of the toxic, suffocating lie. I command you to honor the holy, sacred rhythm of rest that I established at the very dawn of creation. If I, the Almighty Creator of the universe, rested on the seventh day, why do you foolishly believe you are exempt from this divine requirement? Come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Lay down your tools, turn off your screens, and breathe. Disconnect aggressively from the loud, demanding world so that you can intimately reconnect with me. I see you checking your work emails at midnight, allowing the glowing screen to hijack the peace of your bedroom. Turn it off. Shut the door on the world's relentless noise. I desire peace in your days and tranquility in your nights. When you constantly consume the opinions, the news, and the chaotic demands of society, you completely drown out my still, small voice. Step into the quiet. Create intentional, protected boundaries around your time. Give me your undivided, undistracted attention, and let the profound silence heal your exhausted, overstimulated mind. Recognize the immense spiritual danger of constantly doing without ever being. You have tied your entire identity and your profound sense of worth to your productivity. You think I only love you when you are performing, achieving, and crossing items off your endless lists. That is a dangerous, exhausting dissection. I did not create you to be a human doing. I created you to be a human being. I love you deeply and aim to prepare you for a wonderful change. All I ask is that you surrender fully to me, allowing me to implement the necessary changes. Your worth is securely anchored in my love, not in your daily output. Sit still in my presence without asking for anything, without planning anything, and simply exist in my love. Understand that genuine, deep rest is a profound act of radical trust in my perfect provision. When you choose to rest, you are boldly declaring to the universe that I am God and you are not. You are actively declaring that the world will continue to spin perfectly on its axis even if you take your hands off the steering wheel. Do not be afraid to seek me even when storms rage around you. In the middle of your distress, I'll be your calm in loneliness. Trust that I will protect your business, guard your family, and manage your finances while you close your eyes and sleep. Your anxious toil does not add a single hour to your life. Refresh your weary soul intensely for the fierce battles of the new, upcoming week. A soldier cannot fight effectively if they are completely sleep-deprived and physically broken. Rest is your strategic, vital refueling station. I will replace your crippling exhaustion with divine, surging vitality. I am removing those fears that lurk in the corners of your past, lifting the weight of your sins, and today I heal the wounds that remain. Find your absolute, ultimate sanctuary directly in my warm, protective embrace. Let my peace wash over your tired limbs and your racing mind. Allow yourself to be fully held, fully loved, and fully restored today. You are entering into my profound, miraculous rest, and I invite you to demonstrate your absolute trust in my provision by becoming a pillar of this ministry. You allow my life-giving manna to fall upon those who are spiritually starving when you release your tight grip on worldly wealth. My ancient command remains: honor me with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce, so your barns will be filled with plenty. Your prophetic invitation to support the spread of my word through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description stands before you today. Your financial gift is a living testament of your faith, proving that I am Jehovah Jireh, and it enables my voice to reach hearts that have waited in agonizing silence for 29 minutes or more. I will reward your generosity by commanding the storms around you to cease, ensuring your table will never lack for bread, and your family will thrive in perfect harmony. Your giving will be the ultimate expression of a soul that rests securely in my sovereign care. You must go to the description right now to sow your seed with a joyful heart, and watch how I multiply your peace and prosperity. You are so incredibly close to the ultimate victory. Do not pull away from me now. My heart aches deeply when you choose the frantic, exhausting rush of your day over the profound, miraculous rest I am pouring into you at this exact second. I have final, critical instructions and immense blessings to permanently secure your path. Stay with me until the very end. If you disconnect your heart now, you leave your spiritual armor entirely incomplete. Listen to these final words. Give me these last few moments and step fully into the unbreakable destiny I have designed for you. Take your eyes off the people around you immediately. You are constantly scrolling through endless feeds, staring at the perfectly curated lives of your peers. You see their sudden promotions, their beautiful new homes, their smiling families, and a dark, bitter seed of envy instantly takes root in your chest. You wonder why they are receiving the blessings while you are still struggling in the valley. Stop looking sideways. Compare yourself to no one and follow only my path, knowing that life's journey is composed of both trials and triumphs. Your specific journey is a completely unique, meticulously handcrafted masterpiece that is utterly incomparable to anyone else's. Recognize the deadly, suffocating trap of envy and completely understand how it violently kills your inner peace. The moment you begin to measure your messy reality against someone else's highlight reel, you drain the joy right out of your own life. Envy makes you blind to the massive, beautiful blessings I have already placed directly in your hands. Do not be influenced by the world and its ways. Steer clear of gossip and harmful criticism, and let not these things hinder your faith and growth. The enemy uses comparison to distract you from your calling and to breed a heavy, toxic resentment toward me. Rip that weed of jealousy out of your heart by the roots right now. Celebrate the victories and blessings of others loudly, for this is the secret key to unlocking your own. When you see a friend receive the exact breakthrough you have been desperately praying for, do not let jealousy sour your smile. Rejoice with them genuinely. I do not rank your successes or compare you to anyone. I am here to have a conversation with you and to bless you because of my love. The universe does not operate on a limited supply of miracles. Just because I bless them does not mean I have run out of blessings for you. When you celebrate another's joy, you align your heart perfectly with the generous, overflowing spirit of heaven. Focus intensely and exclusively on the specific race I have set directly before you. You are running on a customized, distinct track. If you constantly turn your head to see how fast the runner next to you is going, you will trip and fall. Look forward. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on me. My timing is impeccable, never too late or too soon, and what I plan to give you will exceed your requests. Trust that my timing for your specific life is absolutely perfect and fiercely just. If you have not received it yet, it is because you are not ready for the weight of it. Live your daily life exclusively for the audience of one. Stop trying to impress your neighbors, your colleagues, or your extended family. Stop letting the fear of their judgment dictate your choices. What matters is not how many applause you receive from mortals, but whether you are deeply obedient to my voice. Do not compare them to anyone or hurt their feelings, and before you try to correct your family, calm down first and ask for my guidance. When you live solely to please me, the heavy, exhausting pressure of comparison instantly dissolves. Run your specific race with blazing passion, keep your eyes on your own lane, and step into the incredible, unique destiny I have perfectly designed just for you. Bow your stiff, rebellious knees right now. You have been fiercely fighting for control, gripping the steering wheel of your life until your knuckles have turned completely white. You construct your detailed, elaborate plans, and when I lovingly redirect your steps, you respond with bitter frustration and deep anger. You are terrified that if you let go of control, your life will spin into total disaster. Hear me clearly. Finding your true, unshakable strength is hidden directly within absolute, radical humility. Maintain a humble and generous heart, always ready to extend a hand to those in need, to those who have less. True power is not dominating your circumstances. True power is totally surrendering them to the Creator of the universe. Understand the profound, beautiful paradox of my kingdom. You must completely lose your life to truly find it. As long as you are desperately trying to save yourself, promote yourself, and protect your own fragile ego, you will remain empty and exhausted. But the moment you lay your ambitions, your fears, and your deepest desires entirely on my altar, I breathe true, vibrant life into your soul. I dwell in a grateful heart that recognizes its need for me and seeks me with faith and hope. Hand over your rights. Hand over your need to be right. Hand over your desperate need to understand the outcome. Surrender is the doorway to absolute freedom. Aggressively align your personal desires with my perfect, sovereign plans. You pray for a lighter load, but I am offering you broader, stronger shoulders. You pray for a completely smooth path, but I am trying to give you the rugged, resilient boots necessary to climb the mountain. Stop fighting against my gentle direction out of fear. Allow me to create something wonderful in your life just as I promised when you first came to me. When your heart beats in perfect sync with mine, you will discover the profound, overwhelming peace that immediately comes from letting me lead. You will no longer lie awake at night trying to solve problems that belong entirely to me. Bend your heart and bow your knee before the King of Kings. This is not an act of humiliating defeat. It is an act of ultimate wisdom. The world aggressively screams that you should be your own master, but a life without my lordship is a ship lost in a violent, terrifying hurricane. Keep your humility so pride does not impair your future, and open your Bible to immerse yourself in my holy word to strengthen your faith and anchor your trust. I oppose the proud, but I pour out massive uncontainable grace upon the humble. Prepare yourself for the glorious exaltation that always follows a quiet season of lowliness. I will not leave you in the dirt. When you willingly choose the lowest seat at the table, I will personally walk over to you and invite you to step up to a place of profound honor. Trust in me and the restorative process I provide to renew your spirit and transform your life. I am actively shaping your character in the quiet shadows of submission. Release your tight grip today. Trust my steady, sovereign hand. Yield your heart completely to my will and experience the beautiful, sweeping relief of a soul that rests securely under the absolute authority of a loving, perfect God. Look around you right now and notice the heavy, suffocating walls of isolation you have built. I see how you have slowly retreated from the world, convinced that you are the only one who truly understands your pain. You have been hurt, misunderstood, and betrayed by people who claim to love you, and now you believe that safety is only found in profound solitude. But I command you to step out of that dark, lonely fortress. You were never meant to walk this grueling, treacherous path entirely alone. I created you for deep, authentic connection. I am opening your spiritual eyes, leading you into a new supernatural life away from the house of pain. It is time to let my love shatter the heavy chains of your isolation. Understand the absolute, vital importance of genuine fellowship and mutual encouragement. When you stumble on the rocky, steep paths of your journey, you desperately need the strong, steady hand of a brother or sister to pull you back to your feet. I will bring trustworthy people into your life, those who believe in you, who will stand by and assist you. Do not push them away out of fear. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, to be truly seen, and to be profoundly loved by the family I am meticulously assembling around you. When you bear one another's crushing burdens, you are not just offering a polite gesture, you are violently fulfilling the perfect law of Christ. You are becoming the literal, physical manifestation of my hands and feet on this broken earth. Experience the overwhelming, mountain-moving power of corporate prayer and unified faith. When you join your voice with the voices of my people, the atmosphere of the spiritual realm shifts violently. Your single, whispered prayer is beautiful, but a chorus of unified believers releases an explosive, unstoppable force of divine intervention. Surround yourself with a community of good people who will also be blessed by the beautiful heart you possess. I will bless your table with peace and provision. My commandments and guidance will strengthen you, and your face will shine with heavenly anointing. When 2 or 3 of you gather intentionally in my name, I am standing vibrantly in the center of the room, ready to dispatch armies of angels to fight on your behalf. Embrace the intense, sometimes painful friction of iron sharpening iron in the heat of life's relentless forge. True community is not always comfortable. It requires the abrasive, necessary work of confronting your own blind spots, forgiving repeated offenses, and choosing love when your flesh screams for retaliation. Let those who are insincere depart from your life, and don't beg anyone to stay. I will be your companion on those cold evenings when you need words of encouragement, a helping hand, and a listening ear free from judgment. But the true friends I send will sharpen your character. They will challenge you to rise higher, to love deeper, and to walk more closely with me. Find my unfailing love perfectly reflected in the diverse, beautiful faces of my people. When a friend sits with you in the ashes of your grief and weeps with you, that is my profound compassion holding you. When a mentor speaks a hard but necessary truth into your life, that is my divine wisdom guiding you. I am providing you with honorable work, food on your table, abundant health, protection from evil, faithful friendships, and harmony within your family. Look closely at the messy, imperfect, glorious body of Christ surrounding you. Open your heart to the messy reality of authentic community, and you will discover a profound, unshakable strength that you could never possibly generate on your own. Breathe in this final, unshakable truth and let it anchor the deepest part of your soul. The noise of the world is fading. The trials of the day are closing, and I am speaking directly to the very center of your heart. I am with you. I have been with you from the exact moment you drew your first breath, and I will be intimately, fiercely with you until the very end of the age. You are never alone. You are not abandoned, even if your parents, relatives, or children leave you. You always have the most wonderful love available, mine. Let that absolute assurance wash over your weary bones. When the nights are long and the shadows are deep, I am the constant, unwavering light standing right beside your bed. Look forward with blazing, radical hope to the coming kingdom where pain is permanently erased. You live in a fractured, bleeding world where disease, heartbreak, and injustice seem to constantly win. But I command you to lift your eyes to the eternal horizon. I have the power to change times and seasons, to transform hearts, and to set everything in its place so that you may enjoy my blessings and leave your sorrows behind. The day is rapidly approaching when I will personally wipe every single tear from your eyes. Death will be permanently swallowed up in victory. The profound agony you have suffered here will be swallowed up by a joy so massive, so heavy, and so brilliant that it will completely obliterate the memory of your tears. Know that your specific seat at my magnificent table is already reserved, with your name engraved in gold, waiting for your arrival. You have spent your entire life striving to earn a place at the tables of the world, begging for scraps of acceptance and validation. Stop striving immediately. I will personally tell you, come beloved daughter, beloved son, you were faithful in the small things, a great blessing I have prepared for you, and one day I will place a crown upon your head with my own hands. You are an honored, royal guest at the greatest feast in the history of the universe. Rest securely in the staggering depth of my love, a love that absolutely no depth or height, no demon or disaster, can ever separate you from. Neither sword nor famine, illness nor conflict, danger nor distress can separate you from it, for in all these things you are more than a conqueror. The final victory over death and the grave has already been decidedly won. The massive stone has been permanently rolled away. The dark tomb is completely empty. Step out of your spiritual graveyard right this second. Enter now into the overwhelming, intoxicating joy of your Lord. The agonizing wait is officially over. The chains are completely broken. You are profoundly loved. You are fiercely protected, and you are mine, now and for all eternity. My precious child, as you stand in the absolute assurance of my eternal presence, I call upon you to help invite the rest of the world to my magnificent wedding feast. Your partnership is the sacred key that unlocks prison doors, carrying the fire of my Holy Spirit to generations desperate for my touch. My eternal truth says, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Your divine appointment to fuel this global mission through a super thanks, becoming a member, or giving via the PayPal link below is right now. Your financial seed becomes a blazing beacon of my love, rescuing those who are trapped in their own 29-minute delay and leading them into eternal victory. I will pour out blessings more precious than gold upon your household, protecting your legacy and replacing your every lack with my heavenly abundance. You must not let this moment pass without leaving an eternal mark on the kingdom. You must act with holy boldness today by clicking the link in the description to give, and step directly into the overwhelming joy of your Lord. My precious child, do not let these 29 minutes simply slip away into the endless, exhausting noise of your day. Get ready for an amazing new chapter in your life, where the silent suffering ends and your season of radical harvest begins. Step out of the shadows, leave behind the heavy chains of anxiety, and declare boldly that fear has no hold over you. If you are finally ready to stop striving and surrender your unseen burdens to my absolute care, write with your own hand, "I accept my miracle today," in the comments below. Let those written words be the undeniable anchor that fastens your weary heart to my eternal promise. Walk forward now, fully armored in my peace, and prepare to witness the breathtaking wonders I have prepared for your future. Amen.